They look at what we have now, but a lot of times they don't know the story that it took to arrive at the destination of where we are. A couple of months ago, I was watching CNN, and I love to watch CNN to get updated on what's going on in America. And they had a special on Barack Obama. And they began to chronicle his life from 2 years ago. And Barack began to tell a story about how he came to the decision that he wanted to be president. He began to go into great detail about how hard it was and about how when he first started out, everybody was on his side. Everybody loved him. Everybody believed in him. All his personal friends, that is, supported him. The media hated him. America did not know him, but his intimate friends supported him. And they believed in him, and they cheerleaded him to go on to accomplishing his destiny. Barack Obama began to exhort and begin to speak about how after a while, when he began to really run for president and the journey had begun, he looked around and recognized that his cheerleaders were gone. And ain't it funny how sometimes people will start out with you, but not everybody that starts out with you is ordained to end it with you. Sometimes God will put people in your life for a season. And the problem is we often fall in love with seasonal people. And we want to take seasonal people with us for the rest of our life. But you got to know when it's time to cut the cord on seasonal people. There is power in walking away from people. There is power in turning away from those people who don't believe in you. My mama used to say, if you're going to do bad, Andre, do bad all by yourself. I don't need company to do bad. I don't need company when I'm down. I need somebody every now and then when I'm down to pick me up. And Barack said he could not find those individuals who started out with him to be there while he was going through. Barack, who was a devout Christian, he said that he began to ascribe to the book of Samuel and he began to read about David. And he said one particular scripture that caught his attention was that David learned how to encourage himself. And people of God, every now and then in this thing called life, you must learn how to encourage yourself. Because if you wait for people to pat you on the back, you might be waiting for the rest of your life. But every now and then, you got to learn how to be your own cheerleader. You got to learn how to speak highly of yourself. You got to learn how to speak nice to yourself. You must learn how to compliment yourself. And Barack Obama said he learned how to compliment. He learned how to believe. He learned how to push himself when nobody was there to push him. And the interesting thing Barack Obama began to explain, he said this thing called the president of the United States almost cost me my life. Yes, he said there was many a time when I felt depressed. He said there was many a time when I felt alone. He said there was many a time when I felt rejected because all of a sudden my secret, my business was now being exposed. Ain't it funny that the minute you try to live right, that's when people will try to throw your business in your face? And when you are living like a devil in hell, nobody want to say nothing. But the minute you come to church, you try to do good, that's when they want to roll back the curtains and remind you about just how you was. But every now and then you got to look those people in the face and say, so what? I know what I used to do, but God is still able to use me where I am. The Bible says he looked beyond my faults. Oh, God, and saw my needs. And Barack Obama learned how to encourage himself. He learned how to build himself up. And Barack Obama was the inspiration for God arrested my attention here in the book of Samuel, chapter 23. And y'all know the story very well. Y'all know the story. The story goes that there was a king. The people of Israel wanted a king, and they wanted a king so bad. And God honored their request. Now, I had a problem here because nowhere in the Bible did it ever say that this was God's plan from the beginning. Nowhere in the Bible did it ever say that this was in the perfect will of God. It just said that they wanted a king and God permitted it. I want to let you know, people of God, there are two types of will. There is God's perfect will and there is God's permissive will. There is the will that God just outlines for your life. And then there is the will that God will allow you to do what you want to do. And every now and then when you hit the Lord, don't get mad at God, get mad at yourself. Ain't it funny how God will tell you, how God will speak to people, through other people, through the preacher, through friends, and tell you not to hook up with that boy. Because you're hard-headed, you fall in love so quick. And the minute you fall in your face, you want to blame God. But every now and then, God will allow allowed us to go over into our permissive will. And the Bible says the children of Israel wanted a king, and God permitted it to be so. Now the king that they got was a man by the name of Saul. And the Bible said that Saul was a man that feared God. Saul was a man that honored God. Saul was a warrior. And God gave Saul an assignment. And God told Saul, listen, I want you to take the Amalekites out. And I don't want you to leave nobody behind. I want you to take out the women, the men, and the children. And the Bible said that Saul went ahead into battle. And he began to whip up and beat up on everybody. But he left the Amalekites king alive. And because he did that, he fell under the umbrella of disobedience. You got to be careful when you don't listen to the instructions of God. Because there are some people, if you don't take them out early, they'll come back to bite you in the butt. There are some demons that you got to deal with right at the beginning. You cannot let these demons live to see another day. You got to learn how to step on the devil's hand when you got the devil down. And the Bible said that Saul fell under the umbrella of disobedience. And as a consequence, he was no longer qualified to be king. The Bible said that God spoke to Samuel and said to Samuel, I need you to go over and tell Saul that he is no longer to be king because he was disobedient. But I want you to go down to Jesse's house. For there is an individual there who I will show you who will be the next king of Israel. You know the story. The Bible says Samuel went down to Jesse's house. And he went to the house of Jesse. And he asked Jesse, listen, I'm here on divine assignment. God sent me to anoint who is to be the next king of Israel. And the Bible said that Jesse brought up all of his sons. He brought up the first son. And now you must know that the first son was an attractive fellow. The first son was strong in physique. The first son had good grammar. The first son